Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how I color. So these are all pieces of my artwork that I have colored. I'm going to show you how I color because it was requested, and so here we go. So get out your notebook or whatever you have, open it up, and we're going to get started. Don't forget your coloring pencils. These are going to be mine of choice, Faber-Castell 48 GoldFaber set. So as you can see, I'm going to use green. There are dark greens, light greens in between, and even like a little bit more of a yellowy kind of green. You can also use black or even white to mix, or even a pale yellow to even out the color tones of the coloring pencils. So I'm going to be using a lighter kind of green to start out with, and I'm going to show you how I do this. So very lightly, I want you to just color in your shape, just very, very lightly. So see how it is all colored in very lightly, not really dark. Now with the same color, the same light color, I'm gonna apply just a little bit more pressure as I color over it. Same color, just a little bit more pressure. See? All colored in. Now you can still kind of see a little bit of the white of the actual paper peeking through. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing again, except you're going to go a little bit more. You're going to apply a bit more pressure as you're coloring in circular motions. This is going to help everything be smooth. And see, this is how it looks when you follow that kind of rule. Now I'm going to show you with a light green, a in-between green, and a dark green, how you're going to blend all three of these colors. So very lightly, you're going to start off by coloring with the light green color. Just very lightly, like we did before, not a lot of pressure being applied. Then we're going to go over it with the in-between green. The in-between green is a bit darker than the lighter green, but not as dark as the darkest green that you are using, if that makes any sense. And just go over that. And then we're going to go over with the darkest green, and you're just going to go right on over, kind of pressing down a little bit of a medium kind of pressure. And see, now that is all blended, it kind of looks like that. I'm going to show you another way. For this, you're going to start off again with the lighter color green, so very, very lightly, and then we're going to go in with the in-between green, and again, very, very lightly, not a lot of pressure applied at all. And then even with the darkest green, you're still going to go in very lightly, just kind of blending them all together. With the darker green, you're going to blend that into the vibrant kind of in-between green with a bit more pressure. And then you're going to take that in-between green and blend it into the darker color. And you're going to kind of just go back and forth between the in-between green and the darker green and kind of just mix them together until they really kind of just even themselves out, and then bring that into the lighter green. And you can even bring that lighter green into the in-between green, and then just keep going back and forth until you feel that everything is kind of all mixed together, as you see that I'm doing right now. And then you kind of just get the blend that you see here. I'm going to show you the way that I prefer to actually blend colors and use coloring pencil, and how I did. So I'm going to use these markers, as you can see right here. I'm going to be using a yellow marker. This is like a light kind of yellow. It helps to make green pop. And I'm also going to be using this kind of green. It has maybe a little bit of a blue tint in it. You can use the green or the yellow. Either way, it's going to make everything pop a bit more. So we're going to take a light green and just go right on over, very kind of middle pressure applied, or you can just do the same thing that you saw we did previously. We're going to take an in-between green and mix that into the lighter green that we chose, and just kind of lightly apply, and then apply more pressure as we go on, and kind of just mix them both together. I think this works really well in my opinion. And then we're going to take the darker green and do the same thing, lightly apply it first, and then just apply more pressure as it goes on, mixing in the greens. You can go back and forth with the in-between green and the dark green. It all just takes a lot of practice. That's why you might see a lot of artists say to take your time when you do this, because it does take practice. Using markers as a base before the coloring pencils just makes everything run a bit more smoothly and make everything pop a little bit more, in my opinion. That's just what I like to do. And then we're going to do the green marker base right now. So with this, for the green base, I actually decided to use the in-between green that we were using previously as the lightest green, and then I chose a different green to be the in between, and then we're just going to use the same dark colored green, but I'm going to show you how I'm mixing these together. So we're going to start off with that lightest green that I chose. You can always go from light, a little bit darker, and then to darkest. It just makes everything easier. And then you're going to go in with the in-between green that's a little bit darker than the previous one and just blend it together like we have been doing. Because it is a green background, you don't have to go so light-handedly at first, but just make sure you're kind of building up to be the darkest shade that you want. And then you can always just go back in with the lighter green and help mix, because that really helps to blend it as well. And then going back in with the darkest color that we have, you're just gonna kind of lightly apply and then just get darker and darker as you build it up. It just makes everything a little bit more easier. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, it's blending pretty well. And once you get the hang of this, you can kind of get the understanding of color theory a little. See, a light pale kind of yellow will help lighten up the greens. So it's lightening it up right here. It turns a little bit more brighter. Even in this different colored light green, it makes everything a little bit more brighter, so that can do something like with highlights, or like maybe a light is shining. And then you can even go back in with a little bit of a darker green to really kind of blend it out even more so. And if you want to see this completely colored, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to color in shadow because I was asked to do so, so stay tuned till tomorrow. So as you can see, these are all the different ways that I have blended all of these colors together. It's still all of a green kind of scheme, but it's light green, a slightly darker green, and an even darker green. You can even use yellow to help brighten. White coloring pencils can also be a way to help blend. Even black can make everything a little bit more darker. It really just all depends on what color scheme you're going with. But I hope this really does help you. I hope you took something from this today. If you want anything else explained, just let me know down in the comments and I'll be more than happy to. Have a wonderful day. See ya!